Hey, it's Tom Noah from Atomic Enrollment, Chief Marketing Officer here. Today, we're going to be talking about how you get the most out of your live events. Live events, we've consistently seen the highest conversion rate into programs. Whether your live event is virtual or in person, we've seen live events convert the most. And pre-COVID, we see live events convert the highest of the highest. We've helped promote thousands of these live events for our clients at this point. So whether you call this live event an info session, open house, a Q&A, meet the team, whatever you're calling this live event, the goal of the live event is to get people to come to it and then convert them as a paid enrollment into your program, right? So today, I'm gonna walk you through how to promote your event and actions you need to take immediately after the event. So I'm gonna first start with the non-obvious things and talk about the more obvious things. So first is leveraging paid ads properly. So you wanna be leveraging all your warm and hot traffic first. So that includes your website visitors, all the past people who have visited your website, anyone who's watched any of your past videos, whether it was an ad or an organic post, anyone who's converted and became a lead, whether they opted into a lead magnet or came on your email list. So lead conversion data on your pixel, and anyone that interacted with your page or any of your past posts, whether it's organic or paid. Second, you want to leverage your email list properly. Obviously, I'm sure you know that, but probably asking, how do I actually go about promoting it to my email list? So this is what you do. You want to be promoting your live event to your email list about 6 weeks prior to your event. At least once a week, you're emailing your email list and telling them about the live event. And then you want to leverage all other types of attention available to you guys. So if you guys are currently running any live events, tease it at the end of that live event that we have another one coming up and this is the topic of it and you guys should come to this one. If you have any current classes that you're running, talk about it with your students. Tell them, hey, invite your friends and family. We're doing this live event and this is the topic of it. It's gonna be great. Your team should be promoting it, so they should be posting about it on their socials, telling their friends and family about it. And then you also obviously want to put it on your website as well to leverage some organic traffic as well. Now, let's talk about the landing page. So to the least, you want to have at least an Eventbrite page, which hosts your event. It's the easiest way to get it up and running fast and manage your list of RSVPs. But even better is if you create a standalone web page that hosts your event, talks more about the event and has your branding and it has your URL, and then you embed the Eventbrite in there. So the Eventbrite's function is just to collect the RSVP. That'd be best, because if you just drive them from an email or an ad or a post into Eventbrite to register, there's gonna be a disconnect because they see the Eventbrite brand. But if you drive them to your company's website, it's still within brand. Next, let's talk about reminders. Clients ask us, what's the right amount of reminders to send out for people registered to come to the event? Yes, there's a science to it. So here it is. You want to create a calendar invite manually, putting everyone's email who RSVP'd into that calendar event. So that way, when they pull up their calendar, it shows they get calendar notification reminders as well. And most importantly, there's a way to do it so when you input an email into that calendar event, they don't see anyone else who's in that calendar event as well. You make it private. Next, emails. So the best way to send out email reminders is 2 days before the event, another one 12 hours before the event, and another one 1 hour before the event. So you're sending 3 email reminders leading up to the event. And then last but not least, you're sending a text message 15 minutes before the event. Now, you might be thinking, oh, Tom, that sounds like a lot of reminders. I don't want to pester them and be a nuisance to them. Keep in mind, people who wanted to come to the event, RSVP'd and wanted to come to the event, you're adding value to their life because you're constantly reminding them of why they should show up. And we have this event, and it's an event to improve and change your life. And you're reminding them of it. So every time they're reminded of it, they're gonna be thankful because you're adding value to their life. People who weren't leaning towards coming to the event, there are people who just register just to have a dopamine kick and don't follow through on their actions. That's not necessarily on you guys, it's just that's life, unfortunately. Those people, they weren't gonna come anyway. So if you send 1 versus 3 more email reminders, they're not saying, oh, I'm not coming because he sent me 3 email reminders, I'm not gonna come. With these reminders, you're gonna be focusing on nurturing the people that wanted to come. So it really doesn't matter. I actually learned a lot from my church because they throw a lot of live events, big live events. And the most recent one that comes to mind is what they call a she night. They invited all the female congregants of the church to come to this one night together at church, and they were hosting speakers, cool speakers. They're holding networking sessions. I think they had some small breakout sessions and some food, and it was a fun event, and people were dressing up to this event. The theme was a 70s styles event, so people were dressing groovy to this event. And every Sunday for about 2 months, they would remind the entire congregation. They held 3 services. Every service, they would remind the congregation that, hey, we have this exciting She Night coming up. This is what we're doing. This is why the event's gonna be great. This is the benefits. Make sure you show up. Make sure you get your ticket. It was $30 to register for the event. My fiance was on the fence for a while, but she was constantly reminded and nurtured of why she should come to the She Night event. And she actually ended up showing up, because not only was she reminded, it reminded other people as well. So when she met friends at the church, they were talking about it. Hey, should we go to She Night? It sounds really cool. And she was talking about it with her friends as well. So she ultimately ended up paying for the event and then going to it. So pro tip, that's where the reminders come in. To send reminders a little bit on the more frequent side is okay, because you're adding value to people who want to show up. Now, these reminders shouldn't just be like automated email reminders. You should be talking about why this show up, the benefits of showing up, and hyping up the event. All right, next, let's talk about the event topic. What are you actually talking about in this event? What's the topic of the event? So, first and foremost, try to invite some past alumni, past people who have taken your program and currently really successful. They had the most results, or they're working at brand name companies. Make sure you highlight these guests throughout all your communication, whether it's on social media, your posts, your ads, your emails. Make sure you're consistently highlighting them. I don't know if any of you guys watch boxing, but the way they promote a boxing fight, they're just hyping up the fighters. And they're getting them real hype, just featuring the fighters. And this is gonna be a great boxing match. You guys should buy the pay-per-view, it's gonna be great. You wanna be promoting like a Floyd Mayweather fight. Any Floyd Mayweather fans? So pro tip, throughout the thousands of live events we've helped our clients host, we found that this one headline works the best. And here it is. The format, we found that this topic and headline works the best consistently. That format is transition from X current career to the X desired career within X time frame. And that hits a couple key points really well in a very succinct way, because it speaks to their current situation, speaks to the desired outcome, and it speaks to the commitment they have to make, all within the short headline. So we've seen those type of events consistently have the highest registrations and the highest turnouts. Super pro tip. All right, let's talk about how to ensure the highest turnouts, because we're doing all this stuff to host this live event. All this becomes a waste because nobody shows up, right? So there's 3 things you want to do to ensure the highest turnouts. 1, you want to text everyone on the registered list. You want to text all the RSVPs manually about a week before the event. So yes, you have to collect their phone numbers when they're registering for the event. Make sure that's one of the inputs. And within this text, you want to be putting the name of the person who's on the admissions team or the sales team, and then talk about the benefits of showing up and why they should show up. And also, to make it even better, you could offer some incentives. So we had a healthcare program, they're running a live event, and they held a raffle for 10 people. They were gonna select 10 random people who showed up to the event, and they were gonna give away a popular book that people in this crowd really liked and desired. So they ended up, through that incentive, having one of the highest turnouts, and they're consistently doing it for every one of their events now. Next, you wanna call everyone on the RSVP list about 5 days prior to the event. Now, in this day and age, most people don't pick up phone calls of numbers they don't know. That's why the text is important. So especially for iPhones, when you put in your name inside the text and then you call from that number later, it shows up as maybe Tom, maybe your name. So it doesn't make it a random number. So super pro tip. Last, not everyone is just waiting by their phone, waiting for a phone call from you, right? People have life going on. So if you don't connect that first time you call, you want to call everybody on the RSVP list who you didn't connect with at least another time. Call them on a different day, call them during a different time, try out different things, A/B test things. And then to the least, you want to call everyone on the list who you didn't connect with at least twice. And when you do connect on the call, what do you say? Introduce yourself, your program, and hype up the event and offer value. Every touch point, you have to offer value. So reiterate the benefits of them showing up, talk about the incentive if you're offering an incentive, and give more value on that call. So some of the things you can do is like, hey, I wanted to check in with you. I'm really looking forward to having you on the event. I want to check in with you just prior to the event, and just take down any questions you may have before the event. That way we can have it as an agenda to have it answered for you during the event. So that's one way. Now during the event, to ensure the highest conversions, you want to do a couple things. So first and foremost, you want to manually write down everyone who showed up to that event. I know it's crazy in this day and age. There's no automatic way to do that. Zoom, you can pull a list of everyone who did show up, but it's a pretty messy list. And there is a way through Zoom, if you're running the event through Zoom, to have people register to the event through a Zoom page, but that Zoom page is really ugly, so I don't recommend it. So the best way to know who showed up to your event is, unfortunately, to do it manually. Next, about halfway through the event, because not everyone can stay until the end of the event, life happens, right? So about halfway through the event, tease in an opportunity for them to contact you directly. So about halfway through the event, be like, hey, if you like what you're hearing so far, talk with us more about it. If you have any questions, hey, I'm gonna drop my calendar link in here in the chat, book a time to speak with us. And last but not least, towards the end of the meeting, you wanna reiterate what you said halfway through. Hey, get in contact with us, speak with us directly. I'm gonna drop my calendar link in the chat, book a time to chat with us. So don't just do it at the end of the event, do it about in the middle of the event as well. All right, you made it. The event is finally over, but it's not over yet. So right after the event, you wanna do two things. You wanna make a quick highlight reel of the event. It doesn't have to be fancy. Anyone with some decent, basic video editing skills can make a quick highlight reel of the event and then send it out to everyone who didn't show up and then showed up as well. And then include in that email a highlight of the event, a video, and then include a calendar link to, again, book a time to chat with you again for people that didn't book a time. Obviously, if you want to make the highlight reel really fancy and really nice, that's great too. But the key here is to do it within 24 hours after the event. And last but not least, you want to send a survey out to get some data on how to make the next event better. So that's why it's really important you have a list of people who did show up, because you could send out 2 separate surveys. You want to make this survey really short and sweet, about 3 questions. You do it on the Google form. So ask people who did show up on what's great and what they can do better next time, and ask people who didn't show up why they didn't show up and what they can do better next time, what you guys can do better next time to make sure they do show up. And you can also get some information on why they didn't show up. Maybe you can ask like, hey, why didn't you show up? Was the day of the week not a good time? Was the time of the day not a good time? Is there a better time? Do you like weekends better? So depending on your audience, you could get that data as well on when to host the next live event. So there you have it. Those are some super pro tips on how to get the most out of your live events before the event, during the event, and after the event to get the most amount of conversions through your live event. So I hope that helps. Hope you take this and crush your next live event, and let me know how it went. All right, take care. Bye.